This is the last session. It's very excited, at the same time very sad for me. Excited because we will discussing about what is the contribution from academia in the future. Very sad because I have to leave Kyoto very soon, because I really love this city very much. As well, I love this forum because we are not only talking about energy, but also talking about something really needful for us, example for poverty, and also the other aspects that's very important for our Mother Earth and for the people. So when we talk about a fancy technology, so there is no elements we left behind. So this is very good opportunity to be in part from this forum. Intention for this photograph actually to share with you is I'm coming from the ASEAN Center for Energy, which actually explains by our executive director. We represent from 10 ASEAN member countries, which has these wonderful spots like in Kyoto. So please visit also our member states if you have time. So very interesting also point of view from the previous speakers, Ms. Kayashima, mentioning that SDG 7 in Southeast Asia progressing a lot is quite good enough. And also from our executive director's presentations, SDG 7 in ASEAN is quite good, especially in energy efficiency. One of the backbone also in the clean energy in ASEAN is about renewable energy. ASEAN Center for Energy, just recently in August, we published a publication on renewable energy R&D. Identification is how are we now in ASEAN about R&D. So from this point of view, we hope we know what is the priority of ASEAN, what is currently the priority technologies being developed, and what kind of publications are already available in ASEAN to formalize or to identify challenges is available. Of course, to see how the academic institutions can contribute more for energy development in ASEAN region. So based on the publications, we identify that a lot of challenges that we faced out under the R&D development, specifically for renewable energy. Even though we are progressing a lot in SDG 7, but I think we need to enhance it. Because to enhance the clean energy development, maybe we can also addressing the SDG 13 in climate mitigations, especially to benefit people in the future. From these findings, we also can get that we assessed more than 2,000 publications from the available publication in ASEAN member states. Mostly our member countries interested in bioenergy publications, followed by solar PV, and followed by wind energy and geothermal. Of course, it's because it's very related with our potential. Bioenergy is very related with the people in the ancient times already. So that's why our government is very related with this kind of publications. Academic is very related with this kind of publications. Second, solar PV. Solar PV also very interesting because it's not only requirement from the insights of our member country, but also from the available donors like Europeans. They've introduced the solar PV is very quick solution for people. But we need to know how this really matters for our people. So that's why we include this. This finding is also very important for us to know what these publications already available in the region. And then geothermal and hydropower and wind. Geothermal, 2 countries have this kind of potential in currently Indonesia and the Philippines. So we hope in the future more and more enhancement for academic institution in supporting geothermal and study will enhance geothermal role in energy sector in ASEAN. Not only the assessment of the publications, we also identify challenges. One of the biggest challenges that we identify is there is a mismatch of interest and priority between the governments and the academic institution in ASEAN. I can say currently the governments, for some countries, the government they are going to Aomori, academic institution going to Nagasaki, is different directions. So somehow this mismatch causes miscoordinations and a lacking of the results of the research at the end. Because we hope that the research in the future can relate with industrial sector, and then it can enhance more and more sustainable energy developments. So that's the first. Second one is we identified that there is lack of funding support for our research institutes or research activities in ASEAN. We identify only one regionally available instruments, we call it APASTI, Science and Technology Innovation Funding, which is available in ASEAN. But it's not enough. The challenge is very huge, and we need more and more funding supports to support our academic institution in ASEAN to develop available patterns or result of educations as a basis for our policymakers in the future. And the last ones, we identify lack of coordination. The ASEAN Center for Energy, we are, as mentioned by our executive director, we are the think tank and catalyst and knowledge hub for ASEAN. We feel that we need more coordination, we more networking, so we can bring together all perspective or all best practice from one country to another country and closing the gap to address the available challenge. So these three key items is very necessary for the improvement. So to answer the questions, what can contribution from academic institutions to do in terms of SDG 7 in ASEAN perspectives? The things that I can highlight, let's collaborate with ASEAN Center for Energy. That's what the things that I can highlight for all of you. Why? At least with kind of stronger cooperation, we can be three things. First, we can be a valuable bridge for the policymakers and industrial sectors in ASEAN. We are the hub between our policymakers. We have a lot of discussion with them. We have a lot of sharing session with them, but somehow we need more and more scientific reason to provide them a guidance or advice to move forwards based on scientific result to increase the reliability and accuracy of policy making in the future. So that's the things that we will not to do. Secondly, by increasing cooperation with ASEAN Center for Energy and academic institutions, we can enhance the networking, a nodal network, a forum, best practices, a lot of available experts, especially here in Japan, a lot of famous experts. And somehow in our country, for example, some country maybe like Cambodia, Laos, Myanmar, we still need more and more supports, and this support have to be integrated. So we hope that with this kind of cooperation, we can make a network. So this network not only develop a sharing session, but also produce a tangible action for this country, because we have this official engagement with the country, the ASEAN Center for Energy. And the last ones, this network, of course, can be a center for capacity building. We did a capacity building from a long time ago. We have partners from many countries offering capacity building with ACE, but we hope we have a holistic approach in terms of capacity building. Very comprehensive curriculum or target in the future. We can't do this alone, because we need this kind of perspective from academic institutions. Academic institutions have this kind of expertise, for example, to enhance database, to do the forecasting that's very useful for policymakers in ASEAN. So these three things at least we can achieve by enhancing cooperations between academic institution and ASEAN Center for Energy. So that's the answer from our perspectives. Why? Yeah, again, ACE can do this alone. We need academic institution support. Thank you very much. Yeah.
Thank you, Septia. So we understand that the importance of the collaboration between the academia and the practices